Hi, guys. Welcome back to the Ratchet Christian. As always, I'm excited to be here. As always, I have a new and exciting guest for you. As always, we have a riveting topic that we're going to talk about because that's just what we do here. My guest today is someone that I know, but I'm also excited to continue to get to know. He has an amazing podcast of his own called Homeroom with Smooth. Correct. Yes. Him and I met at a little Hollywood thing, a little Hollywood situation. And before I just spill all the beans and just have you sitting here, let me just introduce you. I want you guys to give a very warm welcome to Smooth.
Well, what's up, y'all? What's good? So listen,
Here we go.
as you can see, is that what's so smooth? I really don't have much else to say.
Yeah.
I'm coming back from hiatus, so
he's back, ladies and gentlemen.
This is nice to be here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, in this wonderful studio.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you invited me.
Thank you for coming and us being able to put this together so quickly. You hit me up, we picked dates, we got it going. But that's because you've been running a podcast of your own for 5 years.
Yes.
5 years now.
Yeah, 5 years straight.
How did you start it, and what's giving you the motivation to keep going after 5 years?
So the thing that gave me motivation to keep going is, one, I like shitting on people.
What? That is insane.
Just straight up. I like shitting on people.
What do you
So look, I'm here to get my shit off. So first of all, you guys told me my shit sucked on episode 3. And I said, cool, I take this challenge. And now I'm at episode 300.
Period.
You quit your shit. So we're here now, okay? We're here now. I have 10,000 subscribers. You have nothing now. So there's that. All right, cool. That's it. That's all I really had. I just wanted to get that off.
I love that. And I actually wish more people would do that. Because it's it's not being cocky at all. I think that you have earned the right to say the things that you have just said. Me having a podcast for less than a year, I know that it's not easy. I hate this saying. There's if you go into the comment section of any type of podcast or this and this and that, it's always they need to burn the podcast mics. How cheap are podcast mics? The only people who think people shouldn't have podcast mics are the people who don't have podcasts. And it's it just gives you're jealous, and people want to tell you what to talk about on your own platform. I think people think to make a good podcast is not easy.
Right.
To just put something together, you can do that. But to make one that's quality and that you want to continue to build is not easy, but it's fun and it's worth it. And you and I met maybe 2 to 3 years ago. I was premiering a short film at Man's Chinese Theater.
Yes.
And we connected there. I was coming out with a web series. I did not have a podcast of my own. I was barely even doing comedy. But we started talking at after the short film went off, and then you and I had exchanged informations, and you're I can help you optimize your reach for your web series. I hadn't even released it yet, but you met me once and you saw a way where you can help me, and you just did. You went in, you did my SEO?
Yeah, the SEO, so the tags and all
the
that
tags,
other stuff. Yeah.
Yes.
So it's Googleable and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm still really good at that. So if you need help, just hit me up.
Yeah.
If I don't know you, I'm charging you.
Yeah.
Being honest. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? We obviously she came on my podcast and she was cool people. So I did it for free.
Yeah.
But
and I really appreciated that. You just did that just to help me, and you weren't a creep about it, and then you just went your own way. And after that, we just kept supporting each other on social media. If I saw you post something, I like it, you like my stuff, and we just continue to build separately. So for it to come full circle, and now I get to have you on, it's a pleasure. So thank you.
Oh yeah, this is dope.
Thank you.
Dope.
Thank you.
I like this. I like this.
Yeah.
Podcast is funny. Y'all be wilding.
Yeah, we do.
Y'all be wilding.
I try to keep it, I try to make it the Ratchet Christian. Sometimes it just be ratchet though. And it just gets political, and then it gets scary, and then it gets controversial, and then it does all the things. But I'm that's needed for the culture. A lot of pivotal conversations are happening in politics, and to not have Black voices involved in that, I think is irresponsible.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And so I'm just doing my part. Whether people agree, it's we need to be in the rooms, and we need to be a part of the conversations. We can't let Cardi B and Beyonce do all the talking when it comes to politics because they don't know what they're talking about.
You know what?
I said it.
I have a whole nother thing to add. Under no circumstance should Nicki Minaj be at the UN. Okay?
Really?
I'm tired of them picking our entertainers.
Ooh.
Okay, to represent us instead of picking people that actually know what the heck they're talking about.
Right. Well, they don't want.
I don't want.
They don't want that.
I don't want you to pick me.
Yeah.
I want you to pick that person that's highly educated.
Yeah.
That's going to get up there and make it make sense and make it plain.
Yeah. But they don't want to do that. So for me, okay, here's my issue, right? I love trash TV. I love trash celebrity culture. Like I'm about it. And so I kind of lived and loved seeing Nicki Minaj at the UN. You know, I liked it but I don't think that she needed to be at like the conventions or, you know, to be speaking on behalf of all Black people. I think she spoke out about, but here's the thing though, and I'm jumping around, but Nicki Minaj, she spoke out about the COVID vaccine. She spoke out about the COVID vaccine and she was dragged because she was losing opportunities because she would not get vaccinated. This was years ago when it was unpopular to say that. And she said it. And so I've been having this conversation on TikTok about, you know, Nicki is blackballed because she doesn't play corporate ball. She has not been easy to control. And that's why she doesn't have a Grammy. And that's why, you know, she's maybe not as received well in the industry. She's loved by her fans, but the industry hates her. And I think it's because she's not easy to control. So
yes. And the reason, and I want to clarify, okay, because obviously what I said was highly clickbaitable. Now, my thing is this though. There's real Nigerians there and there's real activists doing the work. And you could have easily brought one of them in and had them speak on it. And maybe you could have had Nicki do like their introduction or something, something to where it ties in Nicki Minaj and it says that she supports this. But you can also bring in somebody that can actually explain what's going on and is on the ground there. I feel like it's irresponsible, like in a way to go, hey, I'm sitting in my house and I see this bad thing and I think we should do something else about it. Versus having somebody that's actually there that can actually explain and speak to the full depths of what's going on there.
Here's my question. Do you think had somebody who wasn't a public figure spoken out about it, would it have gotten the issue as much attention as it did when Nicki Minaj talked about it? Because whether she was qualified to talk about it or not, it put it on the mainstream media's attention. Before, nobody was talking about what's going on in Nigeria. We were like, as creators on TikTok, we were seeing, you know, the average people, you know, creators talk about it, but celebrities were mum. And now all of a sudden, Nicki Minaj talking about it made it a global topic. And so I agree, there are more qualified people to talk about it, but sometimes, you know, you got to wield your celebrity for good. And I feel like she did.
So I think that she can do it. Like, that's fine.
Yeah.
Like, but I feel like that's why I wanted to clarify it with marrying
the
two, because you want to point people in the right direction. Like, this is the person to further this conversation.
Because I do get what
because
it
the
is
conversation
that you're saying.
ends
I do.
With like the celebrity goes, hey, there's a problem. Okay, now what do we do? Like, and the celebrity never knows what to do. Yeah. They're just like, hey, I just want to tell you this is a problem.
Right.
Cool, that's fine. Let's bring in the person that can tell us what
and now here's who is well versed on the issue, who you should listen to. I totally agree with that. So we do agree in that they come within the Black community. I feel like they come to our entertainers. They don't come to our intellectuals.
Right.
You know what I mean? They sit down. Democratic Party will sit. And the reason why I didn't vote, you know, democratically this past year, in the past election, was because I didn't like the way that they campaigned to us. I thought it was very disrespectful how they campaigned to the Black community. You know, they just peddled like abortion and, you know, nonsense and tomfoolery. And it's like, while other communities got respectable conversations, I got dragged a little bit because I had seen like this summit. They had a summit with Black leaders and it was all Black women on that stage and no Black men. It was all Black women speaking on behalf of the Black community. Meanwhile, when the president and presidents were going to other communities, they were sitting down with their men. And my issue with that, as a woman,
no, you're right.
It's like
it's a snaps. I just really thought about that panel right there. Yeah, no, you're right.
And people were like, didn't see issue with that. No, the Black woman is not the head. Well, they intentionally want the Black woman to be the head of their community. Meanwhile, in every community, the men do not. I don't want to say do the talking because that sounds misogynistic, but they are representatives in their community, and that further perpetuates the stereotypes of the single Black woman, the strong Black woman. Like, America does not mind giving Black women power. It doesn't like giving Black men power. And they do that because that keeps us divided. You know what I mean? And so for me, it's like, come and sit down with the intellectuals in our community and come and sit down and talk to the men and the women in our community.
Right.
And so for me, I didn't see that being done in a way that I really thought was tasteful when it came to how the Democrats campaigned to us. And so that kind of further pushed me towards the conservative side. Although they have recently lost the plot and it is a mess right now and we're about to get into it. And I wasn't even trying to go that deep down into politics, but you're here. We're here.
Yeah,
and I have on my conservative hat. So, and it's not even a conservative hat. No shade or tea to this brand. I just love the hat. I think it's cute. People see me in camo and they kind of freak out a little bit. I'm like, look, it's just for the vibes. I've never been hunting. It's purely for the vibes. I've never been hunting. I saw it at like this little crafts thing in Long Beach, and it was cute, and I got it. So shout out to them. But in preparation for our episode, I'm like, you know what? I want to talk about the Epstein files. There's been a lot of talk about the Epstein files. There's been a lot going on with the Epstein files. I know everything and I know nothing.
Yes.
Do you know what that means? Like,
yes.
what I mean?
Like you can see the threads of connection, right? Because like even when you start drawing circles from like, for instance, like you take like Charlie Kirk's assassination, right?
Oh God.
And then you go, okay, there's Charlie Kirk, there's Erica Kirk, then there's all the people that didn't like Charlie, and all the people that Charlie knew, and then you go, okay, well Charlie knew X, Y, this person and this person and this person, and then you go from those people and you go, well those people knew Epstein, so.
But everybody seems to know Epstein.
Right. But
everybody. And then at the same time, everybody seems to not know Epstein. So they all know him and all of a sudden they don't know him.
Right.
So they've released the Epstein. I feel like comedian Dave Smith, I was watching his podcast yesterday, just trying to get more information on the topic. And I feel like he kind of summed up this whole thing that's been going around the Epstein files really well. So let's watch the clip and we'll go from there.
And a big part of that was, well, obviously the drain the swamp spirit, but the Epstein stuff was one that like he talked about a lot. All of his men, like all of the king's men were on record. Pam Bondi, Dan Bongino, Kash Patel, all of them were talking about releasing the Epstein stuff. They then pivot on a dime and Donald Trump tries to do his typical thing where like he goes, nah, it's a hoax. Here's a nickname for Marjorie Taylor Greene if you're talking about it. Thomas Massey's a loser, blah, blah. It just falls flat on its face. Then the files didn't exist. Then we were stupid to be asking for them. Then the files did exist, but it was all kiddie porn, so we couldn't show you any of it. Then you know what I mean? Like after they had done the whole thing with the binders and made this faux presentation, months later, they're telling you it was a Democratic hoax. This was like, this is a Russiagate type thing. And then finally to flip again after going to war with the best congressman in the country over his bill. At the last minute, Donald Trump is so politically defeated that he has to flip and support the release of the bill. I just like, dude, the amount of.
So at the end of that clip, he says the amount of political steam that this new conservative populist movement lost around the Epstein files is remarkable. Like, as the people who voted for him, we voted for the drain the swamp, the release of the Epstein files. Like he said, everybody, Kash Patel, the Pam Bondi, all these people who, were campaigning with him, for him, they were the one that was shouting to the top of their roofs, we're going to go to Washington, we're going to drain the swamp, you guys are going to get the Epstein files because you should know about it. And then they got in office and then they were like, what are you guys talking about? Right. It's like you riled up a whole bunch of independent thinkers and you thought you were going to be able to tell us to get over it. You were wrong. And Trump was wrong. And his movement, his presidency has suffered greatly because of how he handled the Epstein files. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, they should have just gave up on that. Like, they should have let that go a long time ago. That was a dying battle because there was no way you were going to win that one. Like, the way people feel, most of the time when you talk about pedophilia, right? You mentioned them. Everybody goes, yeah, kill him. Like, that's 97% of America. That's 97. You're not gonna, and that's not divided among party lines or anything. That's just 97% of people are like, yeah, get them up out of here.
Yeah.
So
facts.
you can't rile up that level of anger and rage and then go, so we're not gonna, the way the files is looking, there was a little kid in the back and we didn't, they're not clothed all the way. Like, censor them.
And that's what he was saying. Like, oh, who are we trying to protect here? Right. Who are we trying to protect? Like, you're not going to convince people that if these files were to come out, they would harm certain people. And if you're in that file, you deserve to be outed. You deserve jail time for your crimes. Like, people deserve to know. People deserve to know. It's just as simple as that. And to have a presidency, and to have a president be like, he's just a creep. Like that's it. No, that's not it. This is a criminal syndicate that is really exposing larger themes in society. This is global. This is something that's going on just beyond our government. There's talks of him being Mossad. There's proof. Whatever. I'm just gonna say. I'm not gonna say talks. There has been tangible proofs that link him to our intelligence agencies and the intelligence agencies of other countries. So this wasn't just a creep in New York that liked kids. This was somebody that was running an operation, and that's clear. And I feel like the American population are tired of being treated like we're stupid, because clearly we are not. And maybe Republicans were stupid. I think maybe first gen MAGA probably were like, the toothless people who, live in West Virginia and marry their cousins. No shade, no tea. No shade. Listen, and I say that with all kindness in my heart. When I think of first MAGA, because I wasn't part of first MAGA. 2016 MAGA, I was scared of them because they were the tiki torch whites. You know what I mean? But this new MAGA are the independent thinkers, the libertarians, all the people who wanted to vote for RFK because we saw how people were treated for not wanting to take the COVID vaccines. Like, you have a new bunch of intellectuals that have joined MAGA and have enforced it and made the movement a much more intelligent one. And so I think they're treating this new base of people like old MAGA, and it's just simply not that. A lot of people from the Democratic Party also voted for Trump, whether they liked him or not. Their eyes were open to certain things. And so you have a bunch of thinkers and you're telling them not to think. And that didn't go over well. And so with them flip-flopping on whether they were going to release the files, not release the files didn't exist. They waved around the binder of like, we have the files right here. We're going to give them to you on Tuesday. And this TikToker is going to present it. And it's like, do you think we're children? Do you think you're stupid? And then they walked it back and said, forget about it. And so to me, almost feels like it just really messed up a lot of what Trump has going on. And so recently they introduced a bill, which why is there even need to be a bill that people are voting on for us to see the files? Like, what are we talking about here?
Right.
Why are you protecting pedophiles? Why does our government have to vote on releasing these things?
So just to provide a little context.
Please do.
Right. So the files initially weren't released because Ghislaine Maxwell kept appealing. And because she kept appealing and the files are the crux of her conviction, they can't taint the potential jury pools if there is a retrial, if she's granted it. So until her appeal was completely squashed, which it was by the Supreme Court just recently, like I think that was like maybe 2-3 months ago, like they didn't have wiggle room to actually release them. To be honest, they didn't really have legal wiggle room because she could have easily contested it herself. And then now what? Now what do you do? Because you can't violate her rights.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She has a right to due process even though she's a pedophile like herself.
Well, this
like,
is America.
You know?
And it's like we have a judicial branch for a reason. Whether it works the way that it should or not, we still have that process. And honestly, I did not know that. And had somebody just came out and explained that, I feel like it would have made people's response less. We still want the files, but we would have understood.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
I didn't know that. You just enlightened me.
Yeah, because a lot of people, they just like, they're like, well, you know what I'm saying? Biden could have did it, and it started under Trump, so Trump could have did it. I'm like, no, neither of them could. These people were on trial, and then Epstein killed himself.
I don't think he
alleged.
did. I think
I don't think he did either.
I think they snuck him out of that jail, and he's somewhere on an island living under a new identity as a lizard. I think Epstein's still alive.
Lizard is crazy. But yeah, I mean, they have facial reconstruction surgery. And, I mean,
all that,
and he has
access to all that. He's
big boy money
he
and big boy
whatever.
connection.
Yeah, like trust me, that boy did not go to prison and die there. He is somewhere with his pals watching all of this go down and letting his head honcho lady rot in jail like a real player. So recently they voted on it. They decided they're gonna start to trickle out some of this stuff to us peasants.
Wait. But one person.
What? Who?
That Senate, that House of Representative guy, Chris, whatever his name is, from Louisiana, he voted no.
He voted no?
He voted no, but that's because he's in the files.
So he's going to vote for his own interests. And I'm sure there's a good amount of people in those files. And so it's like Thomas, he was talking about Congressman, I think he's a congressman, Thomas Massey. Love him. He's been like posting and talking about a lot of great stuff. He was like, I just hope you all know if you vote against this bill, you're going to go down like beyond your political career. You are going to be the group of people who protected a pedophile. And like you said, most people, we have this knee-jerk sense of like morality. It's like you're going to protect kids. That's not even up for debate. If somebody was harming kids, that's not somebody to protect. What is this, Solomon?
I was just saying it's Clay Higgins. I just give
Clay
you.
Clay Higgins.
Clay Higgins. Okay, I knew it started with us.
It was just him alone.
Yeah, just him by himself.
He wasn't playing.
And then
He said,
the Senate was unanimous. So I said, okay, you're the one guy in Congress,
right,
all by yourself now, who voted against it.
And what was?
And then we dug you up, and you had pedophile allegations yourself. And you're connected to the Epstein.
Okay. Then of course it's like you're going to vote like that. They released, or they have claimed to. I've been just hearing, like I said, I know everything. I know nothing. They're releasing stuff, but I don't know if it's real or it's been redacted or they're kind of trickling out things. And so I, doing some research last night, came upon like the website. I think it's the .gov. It's like a actual like legit website. Let me see if you can pull it up for us, Solomon. Press release published. Okay. Oversight committee releases additional Epstein documents. Yeah, I don't even know what website this was.
The documents can be found here.
Okay. So the documents can be found here.
Click the hyperlink.
I click the hyperlink, and then so Solomon, if you go to the next picture, I have the Epstein files on my phone right now. Epstein estate documents. When you click the link, this is what you will get. And I was afraid, honestly, to open any of this stuff because I'm like, what if it gives me malware? What if it gives me spyware? What if they're keeping a list of all the Americans that are like looking at the list? You have to think of these things. Like, what if like now my name is in a database of troublesome people, which I'm sure it already is, whatever. And that's just me having delusions of grandeur, I guess. But it's like, I was scared. I was scared to like click on this. And as I did go through and try to open them. Some of them wouldn't open. Some of them, it's just the volume of information. I don't even know what I'm looking at. I don't understand what I'm reading. I opened something that was talking about like a PSYOP experiment that the CIA did somewhere else. I'm like, what is going on? And so I was like, you know what? Let me just go to images. And so I clicked on images and I scrolled through them. And then I saw this photo of Donald Trump and Epstein. I was going through the Epstein files for y'all. Okay. I love y'all that much. I took my time to try to get fresh information. And I just regurgitated from another podcast like I did 5 minutes ago. But from this one, this is fresh. Okay, so this photo says Jeffrey Epstein, Donald Trump, and newly signed Trump model Ingrid Sehabs, whatever, attending Victoria's Secret Angels party at Lower Bell Club in New York City on April 8th, 1997. And so Trump has been quoted as saying, I knew Jeffrey Epstein, he was a creep, and I threw him out of my club one time. But the evidence is starting to show that you didn't just meet him one time and throw him out of your club. He's right here with you at one of your parties. And y'all are real close together. This wasn't a stranger that was in some corner of a room that you didn't know. This is somebody that was comfortable enough to be this close to Donald Trump. Mm-hmm. And so for me, women lie, men lie, pictures don't lie. I don't know the extent to which Trump is involved in this. I genuinely do not know. In my heart of hearts, I don't believe that Trump is a pedophile. I don't believe that. But if I see evidence to that, I will believe that. But it's like you are somebody who was in his sphere. You knew him personally. And so there's a lot more that you know. And so why did you come on, this on his platform as president and say, we're not going to release the files, or we don't have the files, or he was just a creep, forget about it. You losers are still talking about Jeffrey Epstein. That to me was kind of like, okay, you're losing me.
Yeah, so I feel like with the files, right? Like, first of all, we're talking about a dead man's file. He's dead. There's nothing, allegedly dead. As far as all intents and purposes, for sake of argument,
okay.
He's dead. As far as the government has told us, he's dead. He hung himself. If he's dead, why do we care so much? Just release him. Just release him.
Who are we protecting?
Yeah, what are we protecting? He's gone.
Mm-hmm.
He's not on this earth anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, there's other people inside. Okay, and
that
and
part.
y'all, people don't care if you relate it to any other issue, right? So let's say like you look at immigration. Mm-hmm. They don't care if you're here with somebody else. They're gonna arrest all of y'all and then they'll figure it out.
Guilty by association.
Guilt by association. Yeah. Same with black people in the hood.
Yeah.
Guilt by association. If I'm standing on the corner with them, I'm getting arrested too. Yeah. And then I gotta fight my day in court to say I did not rob that place with them.
You're in a room where a crime is being committed. You get charged.
Exactly.
Now, the degree and severity to which you get charged, that's up for the church. I mean, I said the church, but it should be the church. That's up for the judge to decide. But
Right.
that's a rule that's been in place since forever. Why is
Right.
this different?
I have no idea why this would even be any semblance of close to different.
Mm.
I don't know what.
I know
Because I don't think like myself. I don't think he is. I don't think. I just think there was a lot of weird stuff happening,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, let's say it's like you're attending a Hollywood party. There's a lot of weird stuff that happens, and a lot of people don't leave.
Mm. That's well
And
said.
I feel like that's what it was. It was like a Hollywood party because he was already famous anyway.
Mhm.
And there's weird stuff happening. And you're like, oh, that's a little questionable, but all right, whatever.
But here's my thing, right? If I knew that was my predicament, and I knew for a fact I didn't commit a crime, oh, I'm talking, baby. Here's what I did see. Here's what happened, and here's what I didn't do. What I'm not going to do is say, I don't know him and I wasn't there. Because now that's suspect. Because we do know that you know him. And we do know that you were there. So just tell us what you did and didn't do. And I know that, it implicates
Right.
people and this and that. But again, we don't protect abusers, allegedly. Unless our world and government is run by abusers. Unless this is something that they condone and this is a practice that is not frowned upon in their circles, in their societies. Because it's like, why are there so many talks
Yeah.
of people who do these types of things, particularly to children,
Mhm.
in power? Except
Right.
for, I feel like this is a tenet that they are all in agreement with somehow, some way. And I'll just go all the way up off the deep end since I'm right there on the edge. I feel like it's spiritual, it's demonic. These are people who don't know God, don't serve God, don't have any intention to, and they don't have
I agree.
rules.
I
Oh,
fully
okay.
agree.
Now we're talking. Now we're
I
partying.
fully.
Now we're cooking. Come on.
I fully agree
now
with
we're
that.
frying
Now,
with chicken
now,
grease.
now you're speaking my language. No, but at the same time, because it's just like the Virgin Island lady who was like Epstein was texting her during the thing.
Mhm.
See, I said, why are you texting him?
What are we
He's convicted at this point.
What-
Like when I looked at the year, I said, he's convicted. Why does he even have your number?
And you all are so bold that he's texting you in the room where he's sitting there being questioned.
I said, that's crazy.
These people
No.
they have no fear.
No,
They have no respect. They have no regard for the common man because there's this level of, and what y'all gonna do about it? And so what about it? And for the first time, I think we have I feel like, as a society, we're coming together over this issue. That's one good thing that is coming out of it, where I feel like the left and the right, conservative, liberal, we're all looking around and being like, we're being ruled by lizards that like kids. Okay. And maybe America is not run by who we think it's run by. And these people play by a different set of rules. And the law doesn't apply to them. And that's making us come together like, oh, you're not the problem. We're not each other's enemies here. We have a greater enemy. We have a greater threat. And it's not the person who lives next door that voted differently than me.
Yeah, so I seen the best comment ever underneath a Ben Shapiro post. And he was like, your job is literally to make us hate each other. He's like, as soon as, and then the next comment underneath it goes, well, one of them, not the immediate one, but one of them under there goes, and if we all stop being mad, they all lose money and they all lose power.
Facts.
Because there's no reason to hate each other. There's none.
No.
We're talking about like disagreements over where we spend money.
Mm-hmm.
We have plenty of money.
Mm-hmm.
We could compromise. We could go, okay, maybe we 50% that, and we throw a little bit more over here. Okay.
Yeah.
Like you can negotiate that. That's what the Senate and the House of Representatives, that's what it used to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
And somewhere we lost that. And now it's just, I hate you. You're a conservative. Oh, you're a liberal. All these lefties, all these righties. When we can just acknowledge, like, I don't like lumping in bad people with any label. Like, if that's them bad people, hey, those people over there, we got to get rid of them.
Mm-hmm.
They're the problem. Not because, like, for instance, like when I talk to certain conservative people, like I don't say conservatives if I want to talk about a racist person.
Yeah.
I just talk about there's a racist person standing next to you.
Yes, exactly.
Like, no, look
that
at him.
guy. That
Look at
racist
him.
guy. Yeah.
He's a problem. Get rid of him. I'm here to talk to you, but I can't be with him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like you can't meet anybody halfway no more. If you're just everybody's always blanket throwing different labels over each other, like it's not gonna work. Because even with people going, oh, You know what I'm saying? All these conservatives, they're racist, or all these conservatives, they're pedophiles, or all the lefties, they're socialists and they're communists and they want to da 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 da. I'm like, that's not gonna work because you're lumping in regular people. Most people in politics are regular.
Yeah,
they're just regular people, and they want the same thing. They want a good amount of money. They want to take care of their family. They want to go on vacation sometimes, and they want to get some sleep. Finally.
Yeah. And they don't want to have to, work themselves to death to be able to afford living in a shoebox in their small town that's being overrun by fentanyl. With that being said, we're going to wrap up. This episode is short and it's sweet. I'm left wanting more. I could keep talking about this all day long.
I can come back.
Oh, yeah. We will have you back. I'm like, this is what you do. So you do it well. But we'll continue to talk, you guys, while I have you here. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. And I want you to tell the people where they can find you, where they can find your amazing podcast on all the social networks.
Okay. So, hey, there's a thing I'm going to teach you how to do it.
Okay.
Where you can at me on your on the video when you post it on YouTube.
Yeah.
And it'll notify my subscribers too.
No way.
Yeah, it'll notify my subscribers too.
Oh, that would be.
But
cute.
You guys can find me at Homeroom with Smooth. All right. And how you would find that is if the feature, it works the way it's supposed to, you'll be able to click her name and it's going to pop up 2 names on YouTube. And you'll see my podcast there. Homeroom with Smooth. All right. Cool. Homeroom with Smooth on everything, by the way. I'm everywhere.
Well, thank you. Homeroom with Smooth. Always good seeing you. We'll definitely be having you back. Y'all make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, follow his stuff. And we'll see you next week on another episode of The Ratchet Christian. Bye, guys.